Hey everyone, it's Johnny with High Grounds Gravel Work. So I want to do a quick video on this GB124 smart grader that we just got the other week. So to give my thoughts on it for the little hours I've used it, I'll talk about real quick right off the bat. These will probably, I'm going to take these off. They're too high. We didn't get the laser system to put on these as receivers. We're just using the slope and whatnot from what comes with it. To add these receivers, we were going to be, I think it was another 30 grand. We don't do that type of fine work. We do a lot of driveways, pads, but nothing to where we have to be that accurate. So for what this comes with, is perfect for the kind of work that we're doing. So right off the bat, these things here are awesome. They fold in and out. I'll show you here in a minute. Great, you can bring it out a foot on each side, so you go from an 8 foot to, I believe it's 10 foot wide. Very cool little attachment, very expensive little attachment, but if you got to work for it, it's going to pay itself off very quick. We've already done 2 jobs with it, so it's working out great. Very easy to use. I heard a lot of stuff about being very difficult. I haven't found it difficult yet. It seems very easy. We've got a rep from Warren Cats that's going to come down next week and go over it in fine detail with me on an actual job site where we're going to get to use it. So that's going to be pretty cool. Looking forward to that. But again, great attachment. One of the biggest claims I heard that this will not dig in or cut deep. I haven't had any problems with it. We cut a couple inches deep with it. So let me show you the inside. I'll show you how this works. Get started here. But again, like I said, we've cut two inches down. Now, I'm assuming if it's real hard packed ground, you may have to make several passes, but so far what we've had to cut, it's cut just fine. So we'll get this up and running here in a second. This radio cut off. There it goes. Okay. So as you can see there, you got the 2 lights. The green will be once I'll show you what that. He'll show you that you're on grade, or not on grade, but the machine is doing the work here. So up here on the screen, you can see that's the side to side. That's my slope, and then this is my angle of the blade. So in order to get this thing going, the first thing you do over here, I'm in a Cat 265 that we just purchased. So we're going to hit the shovel button, and when you hit that, first thing will pop up is this. So then you're going to hit that. Okay, now you want to hit your trigger on your right hand joystick, and now you see that blue green came off. And let's see here. Okay. So now we got the little shovel up there. So what this will do, this will turn this controller into controlling that. So let's take it off apart here. So I'll show you what it does up here. So now we got this little green box. So now this controller, instead of raising your boom up and down, this is going to control those 2 cylinders. So we go to raise it, and up goes your blade. If we go to the left, changes the pitch of the slope. Now then, so let's say we want to go. So right here it's showing 0.4. So let's say we want to go. Let's go up a little bit. So we're going to go 2 degrees slow. Let me go back down here. Right there. Alright. We come back to the number 3 button on the right hand joystick. Hold it for 2 seconds. And I missed it, but it flashes. So now I'm locked into that. Okay. So when I go down, as you can see, I'm at a 2% slope. Over there is higher. Now, if I want to say I'm making a pass through, and I want to mimic what's on my left hand side to my right hand side, then I come back over here and double click the 3, and we'll try to watch this as I'm doing this. And now your blade just same slope, it just mimics this side. And then if you want to just go even, say you don't want to do that, you hit the number 4 button and just watch. Now your blade's going to be even. So very cool attachment. As far as the wings are concerned, I don't know if I can't do it with, gotta have, let's see if I can, well, I can hold. So let's say the 6 button, and then you can see that wing opening up right there. Same thing, that's the 6 button and the 5 button, but I can't do it with one hand. But very cool attachment. Like I said, we do driveways, pads. Where this is going to come very handy for us is building new roads. We just got done doing an acre pad, parking pad, gravel, and the amount of time it took me to spread that gravel with this was just ridiculous fast. I mean, compared to using a bucket and you're not even, this I can, you know, it doesn't, you can set your height, so like if I'm bringing it down, but the main thing it's going to do is set your slope left or right, and then it just shows you your angle up on the machine. So you know, so if you're trying to slope, say you got a pad and you want to slope it just, you know, half a degree as you go towards the end, so that way you got a slight water drainage, works perfect. But to crown roads, this will be great. Like I said, main thing is, most of the majority of driveways we do a lot of repairs, but we don't do as many as we build. So when we purchased this, that's one of the things we were looking at. You know, we don't do a whole lot of dirt work. I've got one job lined up next week. It's going to be a lot of dirt work. We're going to use this on again, and then we've got another job we're going to on Monday. That's a dirt work job. We do some, but main thing is new construction roads. We build a lot of those new construction roads. And that's where this machine's going to, or this attachment is going to shine, is just for the fact that I can go in there and cut the road, and cut the slope in the road already. And then also with the gravel, once we get the gravel, you know, it's going to make it 10 times easier to put the slope in there. And what that does is that just builds our crown for the road. You know, you don't ever want to build a gravel driveway unless you just got like an 8-foot driveway. It's hard to put a crown in an 8-foot driveway, but normally we try to be, you know, somewhere around 14 feet wide. Something around there, but we can build a crown in that. We have been using our power rake to do it. If you angle it, you can windrow that material to the center, and it builds a crown pretty good. But this is going to take all the guesswork out of it. I can put my 2-degree slope into each crown, and I know I'm precise as far as that. But like I said, as far as getting the receivers, you know, we're not building, you know, commercial building pads or malls or anything like that. This is all residential. We do a lot of commercial work. That acre pad was a commercial job, but it's just a big gravel parking pad for RVs and boats and all that. So, you know, the precision there, I want it, but I don't need to spend another $30,000 on that. And for all y'all asking what this costs, this is roughly around $34,000 for this attachment. Most of y'all may say, man, that's crazy, I'd never spend that much. It's in, for me, it's when we do this business, in my point of view, is I want the equipment to not only make my job easier, but to make my job better, if that makes sense. You know, I hear guys, I've seen comments when I was reviewing this attachment, I can do the same thing with the bucket. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that can, I don't know. But for me, it's money well spent, because it's money I'm going to get back. And like I said, it gives us a better, we can do a job for in my position, I can do the job way better. And for most guys out there, and I see this a lot, they're too scared to invest in their business. They're too scared that they don't want to go spend that kind of money. Oh, I'll just make what I got work. It's okay to make what you got work if you're in a financial, you got, financial bind or whatever. We're not in that situation, and obviously we don't like to spend that kind of money, but if it's going to better our business, better our work, and it's a better value for our customers, then I'm all in for it. And so for the folks that are sitting there debating on whether they should spend the money, that's ultimately your decision. It's not a small purchase, it's a big ass purchase that you're spending that kind of money on. But I bet on myself, no one else bets on me, and I know what I'm capable of doing. So if I purchase this machine or this attachment, I'm going to get my money out of it. It's not, I already know it. I just, that's the kind of person I am. I just don't, I'm not going to just sit around and it's going to collect dust. We're going to use the hell out of it. Like I said, at the end of the day, when you run a business, small business like ours is a family business, but at the end of the day, you're betting on yourself. And if you're too scared to invest in yourself, that kind of tells you, why would other people want to hire you? Why would, your business ain't going to go nowhere. Because if you don't see the vision, or you don't see, you're scared of the investment, you'll never grow. And we're not wanting to grow to where we got 20 machines. We've got 3 machines right now, but it's all family ran, and that's the way we're going to keep it. We're not hiring, we're not looking to hire nobody. We're not looking to grow this business to $5-10 million. We got a small little thing. It works great for us. We're as busy as we want to be, but still have plenty of time for the family and can do things. But like I said, if you're on the fence of this machine, as far as my use of it, I've only got about 8 hours on it. I love it. We run the power wreck really hard. We've got a compactor. I'm going to do a video on everything that we've got that I run. And I've got 2 sets. I only got one of these, and I'm only buying one of these, but my son runs the Bobcat that I had, and he's got his own power rake, he's got his own compactor, he's got his own tilt bucket, all that in his own trailer. And then I have the same thing: bucket, tilt bucket, roller, power rake. And the only difference is all my equipment's Cat, all his equipment's is Bobcat, except for the power rake is for NIG. So when we invest in equipment, we make sure we got all the right equipment. We don't come in a job and half-ass it. Or if I started with a small 754 Bobcat 30-year-old machine with a tooth bucket, and that's all I had, and I made that work, and I made that very successful. But I did that because that's what I had to do, because I didn't have the funds nor the money to buy this kind of equipment until I got my foot in the door with that little machine. And that little machine made me hundreds of thousands of dollars, which I then turned around and invested it in my Bobcat and all that equipment that we paid cash for. So once I had a risk, and I brought that little machine, and it paid off, and we haven't looked back. We're just moving forward. But that's what I'm telling you guys when you're watching these videos, and I hear a lot of comments, that's crazy to spend that kind of money. It ain't crazy, because you're investing in yourself and your business. And if you got that kind of attitude, you're not going to get far in business. You got to be able to take risks, and to succeed. You got to do things that people aren't willing to do. And that's why, when they say running a business ain't easy, not a lot of people do it, that's the case. But there's also taking calculated risk. Would I go buy something like this when I'm first starting out? Hell no. Anybody that's starting out in this kind of work, start with the skid and the bucket. But as you work your way up and you're getting business and you're getting into this, that's when you can start investing in your equipment. And that's where most companies or most guys make their mistakes, is they don't do that. They continue to use the same old junk they started with. So it's all right to start with that stuff, but as you get more successful, you're building more jobs, and you get more, you're making more money, that's when you need to start investing in your money into your equipment. And that's what we did. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with starting with the skid and the bucket. I couldn't tell you how many driveways I ripped up with that tooth bucket, and we ran that little machine into the ground. As far as, we did all kinds of stuff. But as I was making money with it, we invested that money back in, and we knew the equipment that we needed to purchase in order to do the jobs correctly, and that's exactly what we did. So if you're starting out new and you don't have clientele, you don't know the business, no, do not go buy any attachments that are 10, 15, 20,000. Get a simple $800 bucket and go out there and kill it until you can afford to buy something, and then you can up your prices. You can, as you're learning, you can, bring this machine to your house to do something. It's not going to be cheap, but it ain't going to be breaking the bank either, because you still have to be affordable for the customer base that we go after. 90% of the customers we do is residential farm homes, a lot of farm and ranch homes, and we do commercials and stuff like that, but not as much as we do that. So your price point still has to stay in that affordability range, but you're still making good money, because I'm not out here to buy this kind of stuff just to make $500 profit. So keep that in mind. That's a whole nother video. But just to get back to this, it's a great attachment, and I think it's going to work really good. So far, what we used it for, we've been very pleased. We're going to get more video out of us running it and all that, so go check it out. We're going to post this on TikTok, and we're going to post on YouTube. Go check out my channel on YouTube, High Ground Gravel Works, and subscribe. We're going to start really hitting it hard. I got a lot of equipment that I need to be posted on there that we haven't showed any. So we also run a mowing business that me and my sons take care of. We've been doing, my dad started it over 50 years ago, and we just brought 3 brand new Bobcat mowers, so I need to do a thing on that. But we got a lot of equipment to do reviews on. So you guys got any questions, leave them down in the comment. Like I said, great attachment. I'd recommend it to anybody that's in this business already. This would be well worth it. If you're doing the good, you're doing that commercial stuff where you got to be precise, man, that laser attachment thing, it's pretty slick. I've seen it, and that's a pretty neat little deal. But anyways, so last thing, just to get out of this, if you want to get out of this, you just click the right trigger button, and that puts you out, and then you got the 2 lights on, and now you have access to your arms up and down. So anyhow, you got any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll get them answered for you. Thanks for watching.